Hi, everybody. It's good to see you. I hope you're well. Won't you sit with me a spell while we talk about Frank James? Folks, I'm going to ask you a question. Did y'all know Frank and Jesse James came up here where I live in northeast Alabama? But they came through here, the town I live in. My dad even showed me the road they took. There's just only a small piece left of it, though, of the road, but they come to a town called Huntsville. A lot of people knows about Huntsville because of NASA and things, but way before it was a large hustling bustling town. Back in 1881, it was a small town. Frank James come to Huntsville, Alabama, March 1881. Frank and two other masked men on horseback, vanishing revolvers, held up an army paymaster on the banks of the Tennessee River. The paymaster was on his way to pay workers digging a canal in that location. The three men kidnapped the paymaster, took him into the woods where they relieved him of his payroll, his horse, and a gold pocket watch he'd gotten from his father who'd passed years earlier. They let him go to make the long walk home and disappeared off into the woods, $5,000 richer. Bill Bryan rode north to Kentucky. He stopped at the small crossroads of White Creek, Tennessee, just a few miles north of Nashville, and took refuge in a saloon from a gathering storm. He was drunk and disorderly after a few shots of whiskey, and he began to yell, "I'm an outlaw against the state, the country, and the U.S. government." Well, folks, a local barfly made the mistake of questioning that outlaw. So Ryan pulled his pistol, made a big scene, and at gunpoint, he extracted an apology from that old barfly. But his luck and the luck of the James gang, it ran out. The barkeep just so happened to be an off-duty deputy. After a big-time fight, Ryan was disarmed, slapped under arrest, and carried to Nashville jail, where his identity was revealed. He was made to explain how he came into possession of a large portion of Army payroll. Jesse and Frank were implicated in the robbery, and a warrant signed for both of them. Within a year, Jesse was dead, being shot by Bob Ford in an attempt to earn clemency from the government for his own crimes and to collect a hefty reward offered by the Missouri governor. Bill Ryan was sentenced to a long term in prison. Frank would surrender to the Missouri deputies. The rest scattered, and the notorious James gang retired forever. Frank was in custody. He had to face justice by a Huntsville jury. They indicted him and charged him with armed robbery. The gang's exploits were already legends. They had the entertainment industry built around their adventures. The dime stores carried pulp fiction novels and magazines to thrill readers. Frank, well, he got a celebrity child. A large crowd cheered him on as the train entered Huntsville Depot. Reporters from all over came to the tiny town of Huntsville. They filled the hotels and boarding houses and made amazing report on the late buzz of the case. April 17, 1884, the trial commenced. Frank came inside the courtroom along with his wife and child and veteran Huntsville lawyer Leroy Pope Walker. Walker used to be the Secretary of War for the Confederacy, and the prosecution Well, he was U.S. Attorney William Smith. The defense and the prosecuting attorneys fought their cases in front of the jury made up of Civil War veterans. Leroy Pope Walker, understanding this well, he emphasized in his opening statements. And he began, "Gentlemen and judge, and all in the courtroom, I'm here to tell you, this God-fearing man, veteran, just like the rest of you, he didn't do this crime. It's just made up. Could have been anybody else that had mask on, so who knew who it was?" And Leroy looked the jury right in the eye and said, "Boys, Frank James is not just a God-fearing man. He's a veteran. He fought the same war y'all fought. He fought in the Missouri under William Quantrill and the irregulars." Well, Governor Smith countered with his facts of the case and said, "Judge, jury, don't listen to this old Walker over here. He don't know anything. So this old thieving, good-for-nothing coward, he held up my army paymaster and took everybody's money that had worked real hard and earned every dime that they had. Well, he decided that it was his for the taking and they didn't deserve none of it." Well, the governor brought in witnesses identifying Frank as a robber. Under withering cross-examination, Walker got each to recant their claims. When the governor's case looked like it was about to lose, he brought out his ace in the hole, a loyal James gang member. His name, James Andrew Lydell. For many years, he rode with the James gang. James was the one who discovered that Ryan had been arrested and even helped Frank and Jesse get away. But Lydell, boys, he had a weakness for women. After they fled to Nashville, he come involved with a widow woman who'd also caught the eye of Woodson Height. Well, Woodson, he just so happened to be a cousin of Frank and Jesse. Well, old Lydell, he shot Height to death over an argument about money. Old Lydell over here, he was captured by the law and knew what trouble he was in. So he turned on Jesse and Frank, becoming a star witness for this old Governor Smith. Well, folks, Lydell regretted his decision ever coming to Huntsville. Leroy Walker and his sly self, well, he saved his most brutal cross-examination for Lydell. He said, "Lydell, boy, you ain't nothing but a thieving scoundrel and a liar, and all you want to do is destroy the character and reputation of old Frank over here. So he ain't never been nothing but a God-fearing, honest man. And besides, all you want to do is just save your neck from the gallows, because you know if you didn't turn witness, you'd be hanging right now for that old murder." Well, the governor saw that his case was slipping away. Well, he redirected to establish Lydell's credibility, but to no avail, because Leroy Walker, he produced witness after witness after witness who came forward swearing under oath that Frank was in Nashville the whole time, especially during the time of the robbery. Well, folks, the jury heard enough, they deliberated, and they reached their verdict. And old Frank, well, he was acquitted of all his charges, and he walked out of the courthouse a free man. The case of Frank James versus the state, well, it was a trial of the century. But folks, sadly, this historic case took place right here in Huntsville, Alabama. And the only thing that remains of that old courthouse is a cornerstone they placed out in front of the new courthouse and a plaque marking the spot where the courthouse used to be and telling the story. But where the courthouse was, it's just an old parking lot now. Folks, I hope y'all enjoyed the story. Frank and Jesse James coming through. Did they actually rob that old paymaster? Or was it a made up story? I guess we'll never truly know. You know, I've always heard for years that old Frank and Jesse came through this area. And the proof, just down the road from that, the road my daddy told me they took while they was here, there's James buried, and they happened to have died in the early 1900s. Makes you wonder, was they kin? All right, folks, I want to thank you for listening to me. Until next time, I'll see you later.